Today we'll be taking a look at Carmella's possible new faction with two other returning superstars. We'll also talk about the big WWE AEW crossover show that was just announced and Triple H's comments about it. Before we get into the news, make sure to check out the new WWCC Shorts channel. It's a fun second channel that'll be dedicated to wrestling-related YouTube shorts, so check it out and subscribe over there as well. So let's start things off with Carmella. Carmella reappeared this week on WWE Smackdown for the first time in forever. Before this week, Carmella wasn't a part of the show since she feuded with Sasha Banks and since she fired Reginald. Carmella went missing for several weeks, which is normal in the women's division. There's just so many women that WWE sorta has this limbo state, and Carmella seems to be one of them. Carmella first reappeared backstage getting ready for her match with Bianca Belair, and she had a brief interaction with Reginald, Nia Jax, and Shayna. Carmella did compete on SmackDown and lost to Bianca Belair. But the important thing for Carmella seems to happen earlier in the night when she was watching the Natalya vs. Shayna Baszler match. Carmella was shown watching the screen when she was suddenly approached by Billie Kay, another superstar that has been missing for who knows how long. Billie Kay offers Carmella her headshot picture that has all of her career accomplishments and abilities, but Carmella just waves her off. However, Carmella had an instant change of heart and decided to actually take the headshot picture of Billie Kay and seemed to love what she saw before the camera faded to black. So it seems like WWE could be teasing Carmella and Billie Kay linking up in the near future, which may be a great move for both women. Carmella hasn't really had much to do lately, and Billie Kay is another highly entertaining character that hasn't had anything to do lately as well. So pairing them up may give both of them something to do. Carmella could probably treat Billie Kay as Reginald's replacement, and it'll be entertaining to see just how good of a job Billie Kay can do to keep up with Carmella's demands. The reason why this was so interesting is because Carmella was just recently a guest on WWE's The Bump, and she was asked about finding a new partner to go after the women's tag team titles with. Carmella didn't give just one name. Carmella named two superstars that everyone wants to see return, and that's Bayley and Billie Kay. Carmella had this to say in that interview. "That's a great question. Well, I would love. There's two people that I'm looking for. I'm thinking either Billie Kay or I'm thinking Bayley. If you guys ever remember NXT, Bayley and Carmella were the best of friends. She is my best friend in and out of the ring, so that would be so much fun to be able to tag with Bayley. We would just have so much fun and destroy everybody in the meantime. Billie Kay, I mean, come on. What can't that girl do? She makes everybody laugh. She's so talented. She used to be a tag champ. I mean, so did Bayley. So I think those are two great choices. I know Bayley likes to drink wine, so that would definitely help. I don't know. Either one. Honestly, maybe we could be the first, like, because the New Day, right? They were tag champs with 3 of them. I'm gonna put that out there into the universe. Bayley, Carmella, Billie Kay. I'm trying to think of what our name would be. Bay-Kay-Mella? So that was Carmella's comments on pairing up with a new partner. Carmella had a lot of history with Bayley in NXT, and Carmella is up there as one of Bayley's best friends outside of the ring as well. We haven't really seen them cross paths that much on the main roster, so a tag team between the two of them would be something fresh and new to see. Carmella also mentioned Billie Kay and gave her some praise as well for being talented and extremely entertaining. Carmella said she was speaking it into existence, and just 2 days later, WWE teases something between Carmella and Billie Kay. So it is quite interesting. Bayley is still a possibility because WWE is doing absolutely nothing with her right now. So teaming up with Carmella and Billie Kay definitely beats doing nothing at all. So having Bayley could work too. But the timing just really worked out there. Carmella says she wants to work with Billie, and she gets her wish just 2 days later. Could something be starting up there between Carmella and Billie, or was it just a pointless backstage moment? That's what we'll have to wait and see for. But what are your thoughts on Carmella's idea about forming a faction with Billie Kay and Bayley? Would it be a hit for WWE? Some big unexpected news came out this week, and that's the fact that AEW's Chris Jericho will be the next guest for WWE Network's Broken Skull Sessions podcast with Stone Cold Steve Austin. The reason this was so jaw-dropping and unbelievable is because WWE has never had an active AEW wrestler on any of their network programming like this. Chris Jericho has even said in the past that it's very difficult for him to get WWE superstars on his podcast because WWE really doesn't give them permission to go on his show. So everyone assumed it's the same way, the other way around. WWE wouldn't want to have AEW stars on their podcast either. But that apparently isn't true. This podcast with Stone Cold Steve Austin will technically be our first small WWE and AEW crossover sort of show. It'll easily be one of the most intriguing episodes because everyone wants to know what Jericho is going to say. Will he talk about AEW? Will he talk about leaving WWE and everything that happened there? This will definitely be up there as one of the highest viewed editions of the Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast. WWE has even dropped a teaser trailer for the episode that featured Stone Cold and Jericho sitting at the table, with Jericho's old countdown noise playing in the background. So everyone wanted to know, how did this WWE and AEW collaboration come to be? Well, Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple H have both commented on what happened. Steve Austin had this to say when speaking with Sports Illustrated. I was having a beer one night after my Broken Skull session interview with The Undertaker aired, and out of the blue, Chris Jericho reached out and said, "Man, that was a great interview." I sent him back a couple of those emojis, one of a beer mug and the other of an eagle. And then he called me right then and there. We got to talking. I've always respected his career, and I'm glad they're around. It gives the guys and girls in professional wrestling more places to work. I said, "I'd love to have you on the show." And he said he'd love to do it. So I checked with Vince McMahon about it. I texted Vince and said, "We had this idea about Jericho coming onto the show." Vince goes, "It's cool, go ahead." But me and Vince don't always do well with phones and texts and all that. So I texted one more time, "Are you sure it's okay to have Chris Jericho on the show?" Vince gave me the thumbs up, and Chris came out to do the show. So seeing Chris Jericho, an AEW talent, on a WWE Network show just had everyone talking and wondering if this is just the beginning of more WWE and AEW crossovers. Triple H had a press conference just hours after the Chris Jericho announcement, and he gave his reaction and explained if this means anything between WWE and AEW. He had this to say, "I'm not necessarily sure how that correlates, but look, we're open for business. Open for business. What's best for business for the WWE, and open to working with whoever that is." Triple H has been giving that same sort of answer for several months now when asked about WWE working with other companies. But Chris Jericho coming over to the Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast is a good business move, and it's going to have a lot of people's attention. Fans that usually don't watch the podcast are more likely to tune into this one episode because it's just so interesting and intriguing. Are you looking forward to the Chris Jericho episode for Broken Skull Sessions? What are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below. Don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.